All right, I'm going to be speaking about a trend we're looking at right now that has been changing the gig economic space. All right, across various freelance platforms, there have been several things that has been happening. For over a decade, freelance platforms were operated on a simple premise that businesses need quick, low-cost execution for well-defined tasks, and early career freelancers also needed what low barrier entry point to actually build their portfolio, gain experience, and what earn income. But now something is changing. The mutual bargain that used to be between the businesses and the freelancers is beginning to change. What caused that shift? The rapid advancements of large language models, which we call LLMs, and generative media tools have fundamentally transformed the economics of the task-based labor. So entry-level freelancers who historically relied on basic, repetitive, and routine tasks are now being endangered because of those are the parts that AI are being created for, and that's where AI thrives. Normally, the full-time role, a employer will need to work on contracts and several other things like that. But in a gig economic space now, like you don't need to worry about severance packages. You don't need to worry about HR processes. Like you don't need to worry about trying to get gadgets and all that for your employees. You just need to have a task to be done, and you're now going to outsource it to someone. So what has been causing the change is that right now, corporate spend analysis now shows that companies adopting generative AI models are reducing their freelance market budget. All right, so back then now, if they're going to have a budget to get a freelancer, instead, they're actually now redirecting that budget on trying to develop their AI platforms or structures that they're going to be using in-house. Two things have been changing now. Corporate spend analysis shows that companies adopting generative AI model are reducing their freelance marketplace budget at a record average. Why? Because of now, that money that was supposed to be going to freelancers now are being redirected to various AI platforms that can get those basic entry-level works done. Secondly, also, there have been an increased decline in user engagement and app downloads on major freelance platforms. All right. Why? Because of clients are beginning to turn to large language models like ChatGPT or Claude to do those basic work. Also, we noted, most freelance and gig works were traditionally just based on descriptive, modular tasks, such as write a 500-word blog post, or just create remove this background from an image, or just generate a logo or something like that. Right now, we notice that AI tools are doing that very faster and well structured than them. All right, so let's see the most exposed job categories right now. I want to look at the most exposed job categories. All right, so I want to now look at the most exposed job categories. So the jobs hit hardest are not high-level strategy roles, but rather standardized entry-level and execution-heavy tasks where institutional knowledge is not really required. So the first one we look at are basic copywriting and content creation skills. So simple SEO articles, routine blog posts, social media captions, project descriptions, and straightforward translating of words are now being done by AI. Clients who once paid $20 to $50 per piece to junior writers, now they can now generate those drafts faster and much more better than AI, and they can be able to do those light editing themselves. Also, we have the entry-level graphic design role. So basic logo creation, social media design banners, background removals, or simple stock edits now are now being done by AI. All right, so those are part of the categories that are very exposed right now. Also, as a data analyst myself, we have been seeing this shaping also in data entry and administrative tasks. So routine web research, basic data extraction, file transcriptions, and simple virtual design tasks are being handled by AI text-to-speech models and lots of other data cleaning and analysis tools. So these have been shaping various things that has been happening in the tech space. Back then, I recall I used to get some freelance job that, okay, can you help me clean this data? Can you help me turn this data to something else? Then I might not discover that the job now began to change. back then I'm the one that does the whole work, but right now they're calling me to now what audit or check the work they have done. If you can see how the transition is taking place. So very soon now, they'll not be calling me. Why? Because of the AI can be able to now what? Even help them to now run the quality checks. So that means me, myself also, I'm going to now be more what in the strategy part on how I can also be using AI to now be performing data analysis myself. So that's why I've been speaking a lot about the data evolution, how various data analysis roles and how various tech roles have begun to evolve. So the goal is not just to just be scared or not to just go and learn again. They say, why will I still learn basic data entry tasks if AI can just do it easily? What that's going to do to you is that when you begin to learn, you're going to now get the knowledge. And so when you now tend to even add automation to it now, you're not going to be like a novice. You know what is going to be needed in the automation and what is not going to be needed in the automation. All right. The next one we're going to be seeing is what? Junior coding or software development roles. Okay, so basic things like HTML tweaks, script writings, landing pages, routine bug fixes now can now be done by AI. There are various AI coding and vibe coding tools that are actually what's going around and are doing a fantastic work. I spoke about the basic copywriting level graphic design role, data entry and admin role, and also the software development role. So I want to call this the broken ladder problems. Concerning fallout, it's not just like the immediate loss of gig income to like freelancers or junior developers or entry-level specialists, all right? So there's an early career learning curve that takes place whereby freelance was like a kind of a special digital apprenticeship. So like a novice developer, a novice designer, a novice data analyst now or a writer can take on like low-level paying jobs. And in that job now, they're going to be learning client management. They're going to be refining their skills and trying to even work on what real life conditions. Back then, we're just working on demo projects, demo portfolios, and all that. But right now, when they had those freelance roles was a kind of an apprenticeship section that they can be able to hone their skills and develop a robust portfolios on all the projects they have worked on. But now what is happening is that learning curve is beginning to change. Back then, like an entry level personnel will come, create a portfolio by all the experience he's getting. Then he's now going to now transition to now start to do more complex tasks and even move towards the senior role. But right now, AI has automated that entry level role. So there's now a gap because of now most clients will not be coming to look for entry-level specialists. They'll be going into direction toward the senior experts. So there are going to be now fewer experts, and there are going to be lots of people that don't have that platforms to be able to gain that apprenticeship and practicalize the skill set they actually need. So there's going to be that gap whereby there are going to now be fewer experts. Then these entry-level personnel will not have that ladder to actually climb into the next role. All right, so that gap is the broken ladder problem, which we have to actually focus on. What is now the way to get things done? The market has evolved. So what can you now work on now? Back then, you just need a manual labor and lot of volumes and execution. But instead of that, right now, you should start to focus on things that has to do around strategy, curation, and quality assurance. And if you notice, right, you're going to be much more needed in the early part of this AI evolution. That means that your skill set should be needed at the beginning. Okay, what prompt should I use? What strategy am I using? How I'm going to expand? And also, it's going to be needed at the ending when you're trying to now present, reach out to investors, reach out to clients. But in the middle, when it has to now take with the operations, that is what you must learn how to automate with AI or find a way to leverage by AI. All right. So yes, you're still going to be working, but right now you should position yourself whereby you're actually good in strategy, you're good in curation, and you're good in trying to now present what has been done. You're good in trying to now communicate. You're now the gap between the value and the client. Another thing is that right now you will notice in the freelance space, nobody will actually, okay, can you execute this specific task again? It has now evolved to, can you solve this problem or can you manage this AI workflow? So look at that niche you are and find a way AI is shaping that niche and find a way you can now help others to be automating those workflows they are trying to do. Why? Because of, yes, we know that automation is happening, but not everybody will have that time or skill set to know how to automate what they are doing. Yes, we know that basic tasks can be done, but just like imagine a business that have like 6 clients. Like, don't expect the founder to now, why? Because he has a subscription on like a AI platform to now start to now create all the works or now try to now deliver those deliverables to all of them. Yes, he's not going to hire 10 people, just one or two people, but at least he's going to bring those people that can help him out to now what leverage what AI. All right, now let's talk about repositioning. While basic tax-based freelancing is shrinking, independent work itself is now what evolving. Freelancers who thrive in this environment are now moving away from just raw execution and repositioning themselves further in the what in the value chain. Writers and graphic designers are now rebranding as what AI content editors, brand consultants, and fact checkers. So they're now using AI tools to now what drive their output more and now to be able to now use their critical human judgment to now create a more usable output that the client actually what needs. Also, knowing AI integration and workflow setup is important because of demand is now surging for freelancers who knows how to embed AI into business, such as custom prompt development, automated client onboarding, API workflow automation, and all that. So the skill set you should be harnessing yourself is what? How can I be able to help other people beginning to integrate AIs into their system? If you notice what is happening, things are being shaped right now from just saying, okay, I just love my computer, I just love to code and the rest. Right now, you need to start to evolve to now become more of a strategist, somebody that knows more into the business, somebody that don't just know how to get the work done, but can be able to communicate it from start to finish. So now, there has been a shift in value whereby AI has effectively driven down the market of basic task execution down. So for entry-level freelancers, survival isn't about trying to compete with AI on speed or cost. Why? Because of AI will still be much more cheaper than your 1 year salary, and also it's going to be much more faster. So instead, it's about learning how to now use AI tools to now direct various tasks done and how you can now use your human judgment to be able to now stand out and position yourself well. All right. Hope you found this helpful. Thank you.